Welcome to Whetstone, Enderby Road. This depot is a non-hazardous waste transfer and treatment site which has an environmental permit that is regulated by the Environment Agency. Please be aware that this site handles many waste streams, and although we are a non-hazardous site, you should remain vigilant at all times. It is imperative that you read the following slides to ensure your safety whilst on site. Your safety is as important to us as well as the safety of our own employees. Our operation site hours are Monday to Friday 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. There are welfare facilities on site which you are welcome to use. Please ensure you have signed in and register your vehicle at the weighbridge. Please speak to a member of staff if you are unsure. General site rules. Have you passed all your company information to your site contact and agreed a safe method for the work you are carrying out, including employers and public liability insurance, risk assessment and method statements, staff training records, permit to work, plant tools and machinery compliance documentation, minimum PPE requirements, hard hats and eye protection, high-vis workwear, safety footwear, gloves. Personal protective equipment must be worn at all times whilst in operational areas. PPE must be kept to a good safe standard. All damaged PPE must be replaced. Personnel on site without the required PPE should be challenged. Bump caps are not permitted to be worn in replacement for hard hats. Hearing protection to be worn in designated areas, assigned. Additional PPE items as follows may be required for specific area, tasks or hazards. Picking gloves, maintenance gloves, impermeable gloves for handling fuels and oils, welding gauntlets, welding mask or shield, RPE, ear defenders, fire retardant overalls, Wellington boots, disposable overalls, aprons for battery handling. Moving around the site. Give way to all vehicles and mobile plants. Never walk behind or approach mobile plant HGVs unless the driver has acknowledged you, applied the parking brake and waved you forward. Maintain a minimum 5-meter gap between pedestrians and vehicles. Only authorized persons are permitted to access operational plant and yard areas off the designated walkways. Workers within these areas should be informed via radio of entry to the area by pedestrian S and notified when they have vacated the area. Mobile phones may only be used when the user is on a designated walkway and not whilst traversing an operation plant or yard area. Pedestrian routes. While on site, please follow designated walkways around shed and yard. If you performing repairs on mobile plant, please ask your point of contact for safe zone to be pointed out to keep you and others safe. Mobile, static plant, tools and equipment. You must only carry out the tasks in which you have been trained and assessed as competent. You must comply with the requirements of the Safe Working Procedure of RAMS to permit to work pertaining to that equipment and task. You must conduct a pre-start check on the plant equipment to ensure it is safe to use. Remove keys from any unattended mobile plant. Ensure the area to be worked in is safe and clear of hazards. Check for condition of the ground surfaces, overhead objects and others working nearby. Ensure physical segregation from pedestrians is in place and that the 5-meter rule is adhered to. If in doubt, consult your point of contact. Fire safety. If you notice a fire, inform the nearest member of staff, exit the area immediately. On hearing the fire alarm, siren, exit the workplace immediately and report to fire assembly point, main entrance. Do not stop to collect belongings or valuables. Do not re-enter the workplace or buildings unless authorized by management. Walk in a safe manner. Do not run. Fire extinguishers are provided on site to aid your escape. Please do not attempt to extinguish a fire on site unless you are fully trained. Fire alarm is tested every Wednesday between 11 to 11:10 a.m. Remember, fire assembly points is at the site main gate. First aid. Defibrillator and first aid boxes are located at weighbridge offices. First aiders can be identified by their green hard hats and can be contacted by radio. In the event of a major injury, contact the emergency services directly, provided you are confident in giving them the site address, but immediately thereafter contact Enderby point of contact first aiders to ensure the access can be maintained for paramedics to reach the injured party. Permit to work. Required authorization for hot work outside the maintenance workshop area, working at height, excavation of ground surfaces, entry into confined spaces, live electrical working, heavy lifting. Signed by all involved in the work, and signed off when complete by person in charge of the work and issuer. Isolation of plant. Contractors needing to work on the plant and isolate and lock off. Isolations achieved by contractors will be supervised by a competent member of staff. Contractors must use envelocks from lock-off boards situated within the main picking cabin. The first lock on the lockbox will belong to Enderby staff, charge hand, manager or supervisors, as minimum. Permit to work, scope. Permit to work is not simply permission to carry out a dangerous job. It is an essential part of a system which determines how that job can be carried out safely and helps communicate this to those doing the job. It should not be regarded as an easy way to eliminate hazard or reduce risk. The issue of a permit does not, by itself, make a job safe. The permit to work system should ensure that authorized and competent people have thought about foreseeable risks and that such risks are avoided by using suitable precautions. Hot working. All hot work should be carried out under a permit to work control. Ensure automatic fire suppression pipework for the specific area has been isolated and locked off to prevent inadvertent activation. Check all welding or gas burning equipment before use. Clear surrounding areas of any combustible chemicals. Consider the use of fire blankets or sand to protect equipment from welding slag. Wear all the correct PPE and implement fume extraction when working internally. Damp down during and after hot works. Keep fire equipment in place for at least 1 hour. Fire watch for a minimum of 2 hours after works completed. Confirm steel work in immediate area of hot works back to below threshold activation temperature for detection system. Ensure fire suppression pipework valves have been reverted back to automatic operation mode. Confined spaces. Prior to working you must have the authority to do so. Confined space training and certification. Rescue plan in place. Do not enter without a confined space permit. Health and well-being. You must notify your point of contact if you are taking any prescription or over-the-counter medicines which may impair your ability to operate plant or work within plant areas. The consumption of classified drugs and alcohol by employees, contractors and visitors is prohibited, and action will be taken to remove people from the site who are suspected of being under the influence. Enderby reserve the right to undertake random drug and alcohol tests for any site users. Smoking is only permitted in a designated area and is tightly monitored. Smoking includes the use of vapes. Please refer to the smoking policy. Spills and releases to the environment. Inform your site contact of any spillages as these need to be dealt with under our site procedures. Spills or release of potentially harmful substances into the environment needs to be reported to Enderby staff immediately so that it can be controlled appropriately. Control of substances hazardous to health. COSH covers substances that are hazardous to health. Substances can take many forms and include Chemicals, products containing chemicals, fumes. Dusts, vapors, mist, gases and asphyxiating gases, and biological agents, germs. If the packaging has any of the hazard symbols, then it is classed as a hazardous substance. Please ensure all substances have been formally assessed, COSHH assessments. The correct type of personal protective equipment is worn. The substances are used in the correct and approved manner. The substances are not mixed or altered as per manufacturer's guidelines. Where possible, hazardous substances should be changed for less hazardous versions. Dust and fumes. Types of dust: wood, stone, welding fumes and sprays, asbestos. Dust suppression is located across site, such as the sprinkler system. Wearing the correct PPE can reduce the risks of health problems. Why wear respirators? Exposure to airborne hazards can have short-term and long-term effects. Short-term and long-term exposures can lead to permanent illness. It could take years for dust to damage your lungs. Weil's disease. Disease caused by bacteria found in rat's urine. Symptoms, similar to flu. Headache. High fever. Chills. Red eyes. Abdominal pain. Diarrhea. Rash. Jaundice. Vomiting. Muscle aches. Caught by open wounds or eating, drinking, smoking with dirty hands. Treatment: antibiotics. Legionella. Disease which is a form of pneumonia caused by bacteria typically found in lake, streams, moist places. Symptoms: headache, high fever, cough, short breath, muscle aches, nausea caught by breathing mist that come from a contaminated water source, air conditioning, whirlpool spas, cooling towers. Treatment: antibiotics. Hazard and near-miss reporting. Based on the principle that all hazards have the potential to cause harm, the more hazards we observe, report and correct, the more accidents we are likely to prevent. This makes our workplace a safer working environment for us all. If you see a hazard, report it. Leaving site. Before you leave site, ensure all works are completed to agreed standards. You have collected all your equipment and tools. If you use any equipment that belong to Enver, please return it. Notify your point of contact of your departure and provide necessary feedback handover before leaving. Sign off permit to work if issued. Sign out from visitors system. Have a safe journey. On behalf of Enver, we thank you in advance for following the site rules. And remember, safety first.